Hi everybody, Desert Guardian here, back again with another M&P 2.0 box in front of me. Well, last time we went over the M&P 9C, which is taking the world by storm. It's a compact 9mm that's going to be going after the Glock market. So, nice pistol there, but this one is right up my alley. A lot of you may know I'm a 1911 guy, I'm a 45 guy, and go ahead, poke fun at me with my 45 AARP round and being an old man and all that, but hey, I love my 45s, and I love my 1911s. I like my Glocks in 9mm, but I feel like Glock kind of missed the mark in the 45 market, and that's where the M&P 45 comes in, specifically the 2.0. So here it is, and let's take a look and see what's in the box. All right, we've got our lock, we've got our paperwork, got our adjustable back straps, got a couple of magazines, and of course the pistol. So let's set the box aside and take a deeper look. So here it is, the M&P 2.0 45. So a lot of things are going to jump right out at you when you first look at it. The original M&P 45 had a longer beaver tail on it. They took this one off, they kind of changed the shape, changed the angle. They're running a nice 18-degree grip angle on it, so it's quick on target. A lot of research, a lot of science went into that. Another thing you're going to notice right off the bat is going to be the stippling. You know, the third panel added to it and the real aggressive texture. Now I've got my wife's M&P 9 right here. This is the original, and you can see there isn't any stippling in that center panel. And what stippling there is on the front and rear back strap is definitely not nearly as aggressive as the grip on the 2.0. I mean, it is very aggressive. It's a sure grip in there. I mean, you have a positive grip in there when you're grabbing onto it. So they did a great job on that. And it's funny because I picked up the 45 Shield before this, and the 9mm Shield came out. Then the 45 Shield came out, and all of a sudden people said, well, wait a minute, this 45 Shield looks different. Here's my 45 Shield, and it has that center panel stippling and the front serrations on it. So it was sort of a little bit of foreshadowing into what's to come with the 2.0 series. And of course, the 45 has all of it. So this particular one has the ambidextrous safety on it. That's a preference thing. When this first came out, I picked it up, and the only one available was the safety version. So a quick call to Smith Wesson, and they sent me out this, frame plugs for the manual safety. So you can see, it's just a little plug that goes in there. So for the people that don't want the manual safety and are confident in the internal safeties of the gun and their abilities to use it, this guy comes right out. You can pop in the frame plugs, and it leaves it nice and flush. So that's a great way to go. And you know, props to Smith Wesson for availing that to people to run it either way. They understand that, you know, sometimes these parts, the pistols aren't available with safety or without, so they shoot out the frame plugs at will. So great job. So next thing that people kind of notice about right off the bat are these holes right here in the frame. Now, hey, what's that all about? Well, what that is Smith & Wesson runs a stainless steel channel all the way up the frame of this thing on the inside. So it reduces the torque and reduces flex, so keeps you on target, keeps the gun in better shape, and reduces a little bit of that muzzle flip too by running the stainless steel all the way out. It doesn't add a ton of weight to the pistol. It just adds a bit of rigidity to it. So another fancy little addition is, of course, the new front stippling pattern, which I said was evident right there in the 45 Shield and now shows up on the 9mm also. The stippling on the M&P, I've always liked. I think they did a great job with it. It's very, very aggressive and very sure grip on it. You know, what they do is they add a little scallop to it, and then they cut it back at an angle. So let me take this apart and we'll show you what I'm talking about. So disassembly is really easy. Flip the lever down here and you're good to go. So hopefully you can see this. I'll pivot it so maybe it'll show up on the camera in the light. But the serrations are cut at an angle like this on either side. So they're pointed backwards. So they don't provide a ton of grip pushing forward, but when you're pulling backwards, boy, do they grab you. And so these front serrations, even though they're small, you can actually still get a really good grip on them. So in here we've got, my fingers want to behave. Whoop, nailed the camera. Got the stainless guide rod and spring. The 2.0 barrel is a 1 in 15 twist. And there we go. Put this all back together. Sorry for the brief pause. Helps if I do it the right way here. Oop, get in there. Well, we are being stubborn today. There we go. And just like taking it apart, putting it back together, very easy. Flip the switch and you're back in. Now another big innovation that they came out with the 2.0 is the trigger. Now I know what you're thinking. It's a striker fired pistol with a trigger with a safety in it. Oh, it's always going to be mushy, but you know, it is actually leaps and bounds above the first version of the M&P trigger. It's got a crisper break. It's got a tactile and audible reset to it, and it has a little bit less creep. So let's take a look at it. So here's your take up and your break. Now the reset, you can actually hear and feel now. Let's take a look at my wife's M&P 9, the first generation. So it's a bit more mushy and mushy and mushy, and break. There's no real defined, I mean, I can't tell by feeling when the reset is, and there's no, I mean, there's a couple little mushy clicks, but it's not the same as having a real reset. Now, I know a lot of people like to run aftermarket triggers, but being a 45, guys, I feel like 45 always gets the short end of the stick when it comes to aftermarket. So, hey, if you're listening out there, Overwatch, Apex, Hive, let's get on it. Make me a trigger for this thing. I've got the awesome Hive trigger in my Shield, and it has no take-up, crisp break, awesome reset. I mean, that's a great trigger. Now the 2.0 is an improvement over the first generation, and it shoots really well, but there's always improvement in a trigger, I think. All right, so yeah, so like I was saying, the front serrations got sidetracked, but you can grab them if you need to. If you're a press check guy, I mean, they're there for you. So front serrations. A lot of people, I mean, you can find a million different shops that are going to run serrations all the way up and completely remill the frame and, you know, do whatever you want to do. So those options are out there, but if you like it in stock form, works great just the way it is. So let's talk about the back straps. I held one aside here, and this one is the large, which is the largest that it comes with. What's on it right now is the small. So this will get you a good contrast. Now, to take it apart, very simple. You have this little tool in the back, pivot it sideways, pull it out. You've got your pin punch tool and the bar that holds your back straps in. So we'll set that aside, and this just lifts off, slides out. We'll set that aside. And the reason why I grabbed the large is I really want to show you the differences. And you can see them just by looking at it. You know, they don't call them back straps. They call them adjustable palm swells, and there's a reason they do. It's not just because it has a swell in the back, but it's because it has a swell on the side also. And that's great for people with big hands. So we're going to throw this back together. Nice tight fit. Put this guy back in. And now we have the large in there. So it does add a little bit here. It adds its own little beaver tail back there. But the big difference is in this swell here on the side. You know, it adds enough girth front to rear. But if you've got really big hands, there's always going to be a gap right in here between the front and the back. There's always that gap right on kind of like the ball of your palm. So they really were able to take care of that by putting these side swells on it too. So it gives you a nice, really comfortable, positive grip all the way through your hand. I mean, being able to hold on to something, you know, and being able to grip it here and here is one thing, but having the full grip coverage is another. So that's going to make it a really nice shooting pistol for those people that have the really big hands and feel like there isn't an alternative. And to be honest with you, that's one of the things that I think is head and shoulders above the Glock. The Glock is very square. It's very uncomfortable for a lot of people. If you're a sports shooter, if you're law enforcement, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you shoot once a year or once a day. Being comfortable with your pistol and comfortable with the way it fits in your hand is paramount. So great job, Smith & Wesson, for that. And let's pop this back out. The big one's a little stiffer. Throw the smaller one back in, which is the one I prefer. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to nail the camera there. And back in, and good to go. And with this little tool here, it makes the magazine sit kind of flush. And you notice the magazine has a little lip on it that matches the lip on the frame, which has no front finger grooves. Yay, good job. So that little lip in there is nice. It kind of holds your pinky, holds it where it's supposed to be. Now, I talked about the Sig Sauer and how I really like the cutout they had here for the magazine. Now, Smith & Wesson has one too, but I don't know if you can see it very much. I mean, you can get a positive grip on it right here. It's not as large as the Sig Sauer, but it is definitely something that is new to the 2.0 series, and it's just an added little bonus. So if you can see, if the light is just right, the magazine has a little bit of a swell, and the frame has a little bit of an indentation. So got a little bit of grab there. So no finger grooves, great palm swell replacement, small, medium, medium, large, and large. Great grip to get the magazine back out. So yeah, comes with 2 high cap mags, and high cap for 45 is 10 round. I'm sorry, it's not 17, it's not 22, it's 10 rounds, but 10 rounds of 45 is great for high capacity. Comes with 2 of them. Comes with the Armor Night finish, which you can get in 2 colors. You can get the black and you can get the flat dark earth. To be honest with you, I like the black, but I got a soft spot for the flat dark earth. So maybe in an upcoming video I'll have something flat dark earth to show off other than my Polymer 80 Glock. So there it is. There's the M&P 2.0 45. For the guys that like shooting 45 like me, it's an awesome pistol. It shoots great. It feels great. It's a soft shooting pistol. I'm going to get some range time out with it and get some video of that. But for now, if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And hey, that's it for now, guys. Desert Guardian, out.